We've been seeing Toyota change their lineup way too much recently. New models, new cars, and even totally new concepts, and it seems to be working for them. They are coming to every market with a new idea, and that Toyota charm. This is good, very good for you and me, because now they have to prove themselves once again, and the only way to do that is to listen to us, the customers. And that's what they actually did. They have so many new things, so we went through all of them. But these are the three most insane ones. Toyota Stout. But before we try to fully understand the Stout, we need to look at the current market first. Because even the general manager of Toyota, Dave Zakowski, said that Toyota's been following Maverick very closely. So what does the Maverick bring to the market? Affordability, efficiency, and a smaller alternative to the big, giant trucks. It is like an SUV with a truck bed attached to it. But there is one major problem with the Maverick: reliability. Ford has been facing many criticisms for the features of the Maverick, but this is destined to happen. It is a first-generation model, and these types of things are expected. Ford has been saying that they're working very hard to fix these issues, and to be honest, they can. Sure, they have some major issues with some engines, but they have the resources to do so, and they've been making trucks for a long time. The only thing missing is that they're not Toyota. Toyota is the king of reliability and durability. That is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of them. They make long-lasting cars, and the Stout will not be the exception. And we're not just taking their reputation as the definite reason, just look at their plans. The Stout will be built on the TNG Platform, which is the latest and best Toyota has to offer. They use it in almost all of their flagship cars, and what this means is that Toyota can potentially fit whatever engine they want on it, because this is a highly modular platform that is capable of integrating almost all of their current engine options. But more than that, this platform is much stiffer, ruggeder, and more capable than any other out on the market right now. And this is a truck that we're talking about, so this is one of the most crucial components of it all. But here is where things get interesting. Toyota has so many good engines that have proven themselves time and time again. Unlike the EcoBoost engine on the Maverick, they don't suddenly stop functioning, and you can drive these things till you get old and can't even drive anymore. Plus, they have better hybrids than Ford. So in our opinion, this is the best thing to ever happen to the compact truck market since Ford revived it with the Maverick. Everything we praised the Maverick for, now Toyota is doing it better. And we're not saying the Maverick is bad, it's just the way Ford has been handling situations. Its price is skyrocketing, and all the demand is making production lines at Ford crumble, further deteriorating the Maverick's reliability. Toyota is more capable of handling this type of issue than Ford. But don't be fooled, this is not going to be perfect. It won't. In fact, one of the major problems with the Stout, in our opinion, is the price. It's expected to start around $20,000, just like the Maverick, but the same issues the Maverick is dealing with are destined to happen to the Japanese giant too. Sure, they'll be better equipped to supply the demand, but the second major problem is the dealership, and that's not going anywhere. But what can we do? Just sit and watch, right? But that's not an option for Toyota. They're working on their dealership problems, and they're releasing another cheaper and more compact car, but this one is an SUV. The Compact Cruiser. This thing has been making headlines, and it's for a good reason. Toyota has been teasing this SUV for months now. They even showed a glimpse of it when they launched the Land Cruiser. And then they revived the trademark for a nameplate, the Land Hopper. But that turned out to be a new type of three-wheel bike-like vehicle. So no one knows much about the name because they haven't announced any details about it. But what we know is that it's going to be a whole new and unique SUV that is similar to the Ford Bronco in size, but very different in terms of capability and power, just like its older and larger sibling, the Land Cruiser 200 series. Because their aim is not to compete with the Bronco. No, it's much more than that. You must have noticed by now that almost all manufacturers are updating their lineup and lowering prices. This is not because they don't want to make money. This is because in recent years, car prices have skyrocketed. And just like the saying goes, what goes up must come down. One of the major reasons for this spike was, of course, the 2020 market changes. But more than that, there has been a dramatic change in consumer spending trend. No one wants to buy an expensive car. So the game plan now is to be the first affordable option. But what sets the compact Land Cruiser apart from other cheaper SUVs is its base, the bigger 250 series Land Cruiser. Everything we loved about it is now getting affordable in a smaller alternative, which means it'll have all the essential features that make up the Land Cruiser brand off-road capability and reliability. But again, if you're thinking that this is just a smaller Land Cruiser, you're wrong, especially when it comes to the target market, which determines so many of the features. It has a different engine and power output. The Mini Cruiser is expected to share the same engine options as the Corolla Cross, which has gasoline and hybrid versions. And honestly speaking, it's more than enough for a small SUV, and it could have the option to upgrade to the RAV4 powertrain, which is more powerful and suitable for off-road driving. Either way, this means the new SUV will be using an already tested and proven powertrain, so we don't have to worry about reliability or any major issues that come with the new experimental engines. But this is not all of the options available. Just like we said earlier, Toyota can choose any of their engines, and they have so many to choose from. One of these is an electric one. The BZ4X electric powertrain is also a possible option, and this could be a game changer if they decide to do so. But it also creates some challenges for Toyota, as they don't believe in an EV future. And if the electric option becomes a reality and becomes successful, we can expect that the 250 series will have an electric option too very soon. So we don't know how they will approach this, and to be honest, this could be a good thing for us. Although the company has stated that they don't believe in an EV future, for us this means more options and more competition in the EV market. But we're not that optimistic. Although they are reducing prices, this EV option could just be another complicated and overpriced version of a perfect car. But Toyota is still ahead of everyone. They already have an answer for this too. All new RAV4. This has been a stable SUV for Toyota for such a long time. It's one of their most famous cars ever and sits in the middle of their lineup, which serves as a benchmark for what is to come. But more than that, if you don't want to go for the new concept of the compact cruiser, don't worry, you can rely on the RAV4. So this is one of the most important releases because of this, and it might be the last time we see this generation of RAV4 as we are used to by now. So Toyota is going all in for one last time, and lots of things have changed. This is desperately needed because of one thing: design. We're not talking about the exterior style. If you've looked at all the new Toyota models, it's easy to recognize the pattern. Big cars and trucks will be rugged and aggressive, and smaller ones will get the hammerhead treatment like the BZ4X. But the RAV4 is somewhere in the middle. It is a mid-size SUV. But Toyota is making it just as aggressive and rugged as their bigger models, and to be honest, it looks good. But the desperate thing the RAV4 needed to fix was the wheel designs, because the most important thing about the RAV4 is its impeccable ride quality, and there have been too many reports about it being rough and a bit uncomfortable on the larger wheel models. So there needs to be a change on the higher trims. And this is what they did. As of now, the RAV4 will be available in 13 different trims, from basic functionality to luxury. But now they're reducing the numbers and introducing new hybrid models and new off-road trims. This not only makes it more reliable by having fewer options than the previous model, but it also makes the options more distinct and appealing. For a long time, we've all been criticizing Toyota for not changing important things on their new models. Often, just like other big manufacturers, Toyota has been releasing new models without fixing anything. They just add some cool features and gadgets and call them brand new models. But this is the exception. The new model will have more power, a new design both inside and out, and better ride quality. If that's not good enough, there won't be a huge price difference from the previous model. Just around $2,000 increases on average. But we don't have to tell you that this is worth it. Plus, this is Toyota, and their cars have always been the best in terms of resale value. On top of that, this is the last of the legendary RAV4 generation, so the resale value will be even higher than usual. But what do you think? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next video.